On this episode, we speak with Jennifer Knesek to give us details as far as what's going on down in Houston with the recovery from Hurricane Harvey. Also, we talk a little bit of DACA and also a little bit about Colin Kaepernick and the NFL. So, all this on this episode of TrendChat. Stick around. Welcome to another episode of Trend Chat. I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe. And if you would like to connect with us on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's all the same name, Trend Chat 24/7. I write for politicchicks.com. If you want to read some of my articles, just go to politicchicks.com/author/Brian Bledsoe. Also, the new book from Politichicks, Politichicks: A Clearing Call to Political Activism, is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I encourage everyone to get not only one copy, get a couple copies and hand them out to your friends. It's over 300 pages from contributors like myself talking about healthcare, education, social issues, just overall general political issues. And the article that is in the book that I contributed to is in activism section. So, and talks about me being a delegate at the Republican National Convention last year. So, with all that, I mean, that's more than enough reason for you to get the book. So, definitely pick that up. And like I said, we will speak with Jennifer Knesek. Later, we will have her on. And like I said, she is still in Houston, and with everything going on with the recovery from Hurricane Harvey. And at this moment, basically having the state of Florida and basically all Cuba, Puerto Rico, all bracing for Hurricane Irma. So it's hurricane season, y'all. So it's that time of the year. So not only the fact that as far as what could possibly happen in Florida, I was planning to be in Florida next week. Next weekend, the 14th through the 16th, for the Heritage Action Sentinel Summit. So kind of waiting to see how it plays out with the hurricane, if that's still gonna go on. Just given the path of it, maybe it might, miss Orlando in general. But even if it hits Miami or a good part of the southern part of Florida, you're still gonna have a lot going on down there. Actually, I was thinking about, if we do have the summit, I'm just thinking like right off the top of my head, but if we still have the summit down there, maybe we can do something for the people in South Florida, given how hard it hits when it happens. But I'm just thinking now, before that happens, in case something does very tragic happens down there. But so this is Trend Chat. So the main trend right now is DACA. That is the word. No, it's not the word. It stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And that is the hot topic right now, because President Trump has looked to end that program. And I think Congress has 6 months to do something. as far as, I guess, reform and something like that. Which, here's my thing about DACA. For one, it was made up. It was something that President Obama, signed and had made up this program. So for one, you basically have the executive branch doing the job of the legislative branch. And we all probably remember Obama saying, well, paraphrasing, if Congress don't act, I have a pen and a phone, basically saying I'm going to legislate from the Oval Office, basically. So, and DACA is one of those examples. So to have President Trump come back now and in that program shouldn't really be controversial, because the simple fact it shouldn't have been done in the first place. But the thing about it, it's just like all these other programs, with the ones that we all know about, like Social Security or Medicare. Just name whatever program you could think of. Regardless of how constitutional it is, that really doesn't matter as long as it gets enacted. As long as it gets its foot in the door. It's really all that really matters, because it's an analogy I hear sometimes, but it really is like crack. It's like drugs. It's like heroin. Once you give people that taste, it doesn't even matter if it's supposed to be there or not, but once you give them that hit, now they're addicted. And now, once you have started something like this, it makes it so difficult to get rid of it, even if it's the right thing to do, because it just, like I say, just like when the people get a hold of it, and whoever that is the beneficiary of it, then once you take it, if you talk about taking it away, then you just seem as heartless. Why are you taking this away? Even if it's for all the right reasons. But just because somebody's getting a benefit for it does not make it right. Just because someone is getting something out of it doesn't make the whole program constitutional. But we've seen, if you go to like Waters World, or kind of like when Jay Leno used to do the whole jaywalking thing, a lot of people don't really have any clue about what's constitutional or not. And even if they do, there's so many people that have all their other interpretations of the Constitution. So whether it's a living document or this or whatever, as opposed to reading the Constitution for what it says, basically like you do everything else, basically how you would want to be if you were talking to someone that wanted to say about the Constitution is a living document, and you can or have this, I guess, interpretation of where you can make it say whatever you want it to say according to how you feel. Even though if you would tell that same person that has that thought, how would you feel if that's how people interpret things that you say? Like, you mean this, but yet I'm going to just change what you said, or change the interpretation, or I'm just going to take it the way I want to take it, regardless of how you meant it to be when you said it. If you told people like that, they're like, no, I meant it like this. That's what I meant. Well, that's, then you just turn around and say, well, that doesn't matter. It's about how I feel about it. So if you tell me the sky is blue, and I come back to you and say, oh, so you said the sky is orange. No, I said the sky is blue. No, I feel like it's that you said the sky is orange, but I said it was blue. So, anyway, that's just a very simple way of looking at it, especially towards people who want to use this whole living document argument for the Constitution, or basically just want to make it fit whatever agenda they're on that day. And that cuts both ways. So regardless if you're a conservative or a liberal, you stick to what the Constitution says, regardless of the party. So well, that's why how I feel about DACA even being in there in the first place. Just so the fact that I have no problem with it being with President Trump getting rid of it. But that being said, now you have at least a good number of Republicans who just like instantly came out and was against what President Trump has done. And I'm seeing from a good number of these Republicans, I mean, really, they have more fight against Trump than they ever showed against President Obama. It seems like you have these Republicans out here who take every chance they can think of to just to have some animus towards Trump or about anything. Meanwhile, the past 8 years, these same Republicans would be, oh, well, we can't do anything. He's the president. Maybe if you put a Republican in the White House, maybe we'll have some more power or something like that. But now you actually have a Republican in, and now you just sit there and just bicker and fight every time you can. I wish I saw this sort of fight and pushback from some of these Republicans when Obama was doing, DACA or anything else you can think of. But it seems like they're so willing to just jump on President Trump about anything. And yet, when you had the past 8 years, they were just sitting back and just like, well, guess we're just going to have to go along to get along. Because, we can't do nothing. We have no power, even though they do, especially in the legislative branch, especially as the House of Representatives having the power of the purse. But they don't want to do that. They don't want to look like they are obstructionists or whatnot, and definitely don't want to upset their so-called friends on the other side that I guess they want to be friends with, which is actually as far as thinking about, this is kind of showing in a way that you have a good number of Republicans who talked a big game at a press conference or at a stump speech, but we're clearly seeing they were more in line with Obama than they were putting on, which is not surprising to me, but it's definitely, you seeing it now, just because what I'm saying as far as they're fighting against Trump more than they ever did with Obama. And I guess from the looks of it, I'm guessing because they agreed with DACA. They actually agreed with Obamacare. But they couldn't just come out and say it because then the people back home would vote them out. So they'll just talk a big game and say, no, we got to repeal this. And we have to be about the rule of law when it comes to DACA and illegal immigration and all that. We talk tough. But then we turn right around as soon as we know we have got another term, turn right back around and just start kicking the can down the road, just saying, oh, shucks, I guess we can't do anything because Obama's in the office. So it's just sad, especially to people who maybe didn't see it coming. Like for me, I kind of could see it coming in a way, because you kind of saw that, whether it's with Obamacare or even with immigration, or whether you want to call it immigration reform or whatnot. But the one thing I was thinking is that okay, these Republicans that I'm talking about, they just running straight to these talk shows just to voice their opposition to Trump. Right now is because of DACA, but basically you name it, you have somebody out there running to their friendly liberal news source. You take your pick, whoever it is. It ain't got to be CNN. It could be any. You can pick another news source. There's plenty of them. And they're quick to run on their shows, say, yeah, I don't agree with Trump. Yes, Trump is bad. Yeah, basically it sounds like they're trying to soothe these Democrats, soothe the liberals, as far as saying, yeah, we agree. That, these Republicans are just saying, yeah, we agree. Trump's a mean man. yeah, we agree with you. We stand with you. And sound like they've been standing with them all this time. And I don't get it for another sense, because obviously they must be basically just for DACA in this, and just talking about this because that's what's the trend right now. That's the topic now. But you take your pick, because if you have an issue where the other side is definitely advocating for, so we're talking about with DACA right now, could you at least, if I was a Republican and I saw how the Democrats were reacting, even before this happened, you saw that it was coming, how they were going to react when this comes down. Could you at least, use it as a bargain, as some sort of bargaining chip, to negotiate? Let's bargain. Okay, yeah, you don't like that President Trump has ended DACA. If I'm a Republican up in Congress, then let's talk about, negotiate then. Let's say, okay, I give you a little bit of this, and then you give me this as far as working towards some conservative plan that I'm trying to get through. So if you're talking about DACA, let's say, I don't know, funding for the wall, or something about Obamacare, just something. That's what I'm thinking about. Why they can at least say, okay, we see what the president is doing as far as ending DACA, and you can just say that, publicly, it's at least, and then you can maybe call those Democrats up and say, hey, do you want to negotiate? You want to keep this in DACA? Well, we want this out of Obamacare, or you want this out of as far as immigration reform, as far as dealing with illegal immigration. But it seems like they're not even caring about going towards the bargaining for this. They just want to run straight to the liberals and just stand with them. I mean, I'm saying as far as some of these Republicans, though, I am going on a rant. I can feel it. I haven't even looked at the time, but I know I'm going on a rant on this. And I definitely want to make sure we get with give time for Jennifer as far as to talk about what's going on down in Houston. So I'm just going to end on that. So the rant is over. And before I go to my next probably other rant, let's hear from our friends with the Founding Project.
Hello, TrendChat listeners. If you like the Founding Project's Civics Education video series, Civics for All Ages, and our educational meme series, we think you will love our new website. Join us at thefoundingproject.com and be a part of the civics movement. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Please join us today.
Yep. Thank you to the Founding Project for that. And this is not going to be that long of a rant. I said it. Then again, I didn't think that DACA was going to be that long. But that's one thing I like about the podcast. I just go with it. And we are just going to go with it Now, so we're coming up on the first game of the regular season for the National Football League, the NFL. And I care less. I haven't cared much about it. I've actually ranted on this a couple of, I don't know what episode it was, but I went on a rant as far as just talking about boycotts, because this was when just talking about the boycott last year because of the anthem protest with Colin Kaepernick. And now here we are with, as of, I guess, recording right now, Colin Kaepernick is still not on the team. And that is really tragic. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really, I mean, they really, I'm sorry to break that to you, but Colin Kaepernick is not, he's not playing still. I'm sorry. I know it's an injustice. I know it is, but it's going to be okay, little baby. Little Colin is going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Don't cry. Please. Maybe you'll play on something. You ever thought about going to Canada? Maybe arena football. I don't know. But I mean, I know you people are feeling the same way, but I can care less if you can't tell. But why would someone go through the trouble of signing Colin Kaepernick to be a backup quarterback? Someone that's probably never, not going to go on the field. So what is the point to go through all that controversy and bringing this guy in for someone that's not going to contribute to the team, or not even going to have a chance to show his talent, however much he has left? He's not going to have the opportunity. I mean, I guess it depends on who the starting quarterback is, but for the most part, you're a backup. So I feel like if he had, I guess Cam Newton or Aaron Rodgers type talent, or Tom Brady kind of talent, he would have been signed by now. This controversy would not have held him back as far as getting on a team then, because he can get on the field and he can produce. That would be the argument, because that's the argument all the time. As far as you have all these other guys who have been done reprehensible things and still good on a team because they are talented. But if you're not going to get on the team. Now, I don't agree with that thought process. If someone that's lacking in character, I don't care how good they are. If they're not on the team, I'm not going to cry about it. But also, I don't bet on this. I'm not putting money down for gambling on these sports. So that's one reason I definitely don't care nearly as much as far as winning over character. But that's one factor in why you have such a, I guess, rabid, fanaticism for sports in general, because people put money on it and they want the best they can get so they can win that money. So in my case, I'm not. So I'd rather have somebody with better character as opposed to just grabbing folks from the pen in a way just to get a win. Hey, but I think that kind of rhymed actually. Did I just I just rhymed a little bit, I think. I didn't even notice that. Pen and win. It was in there somewhere. I'll play it back. But yeah, so NFL starting I think on Thursday. So who knows? Kaepernick might get signed before the end of the season. Actually someone brought up about Johnny Manziel. and because he hasn't been signed. So I don't think that's a good comparison, because Johnny Manziel, is not as good of a quarterback as Colin Kaepernick is, even though Kaepernick is at a backup quarterback level. I think Johnny Manziel is at a practice team level at this point. Or maybe he's gotten better, but still, he has a lot of baggage too. So why would you, for the same reason, why would you bother even taking the chance on an experiment with all what he has going on? I mean, we're all for second chances, but second chances are not guaranteed either. Shouldn't just assume you're going to get a second chance. No, playing football, playing sports, it's a privilege. It's not something. It's not a right. You're not entitled to play football. If people don't want you, then you don't play. Simple as that. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people, especially for Kaepernick, have his supporters out there. So that being said, I'm going to get to speaking with Jennifer Knesek. It's funny. I actually remember talking to her the first time was with the movie Atlas Shrugged Part 3. And if you don't know, I had a small, very itsy-bitsy part in that movie. And I remember messaging out to her about it, and she was talking about doing an event for it. Now, this was 2014, and she sent me a message about putting an event together for a showing for the movie and all that. And I was thinking like, I have no clue about how to do any of that. I was just telling her about the movie, and then she responded with that. But it's funny, even though I didn't do anything at that time, that actually kind of sparked the interest for me to think about doing other things, as far as even like doing the whole delegate thing. It was just something the delegate thing was something I never thought about, but I guess it was from that conversation with Jennifer made me think, well, how do I start an event? How could I do that? And I guess that maybe was kind of the catalyst to right now hear me on TrendChat. So that being said, we're going to talk with her, and she's going to tell us about the recovery efforts down in Houston and a couple more other things. So here's our interview with Jennifer. Hello, this is TrendChat, and we are pleased to have super activist Jennifer Knesek with us. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you today?
Doing quite well. I just wanted to speak with some of my friends and wanted to talk with you because you were affected down there with Hurricane Harvey. And I guess the first question I want to ask, well, how are you doing right now?
I think that everybody here in Houston is glad to be at the next stage. We're not in so much rescue as we are in regrouping and recovering. So it's nice to transition to that.
And so how were you affected?
I feel super blessed. I personally live near the Galleria, and I was for some reason not affected with the flood. But, it was pretty incredible to watch all of the people that you know and you care about so much, to actually watch in live time their houses start to flood one by one. And it was probably the hardest part was that. But, we all made it through and we're moving on.
Yeah, and I have many friends down there, and just seeing some have not been affected as much, some totally lost everything, and definitely kind of seeing the spectrum both ways as far as who was affected either way. So how, I guess, the recovery efforts as far as everything going on, how's that working so far?
I think that it's been a little bit, I'm not going to lie, chaotic, but at the same time, people have really stepped up and kind of taken it upon themselves to just go out and make sure that their neighbors and their family and people that they know well and care about are doing okay. And I think that a lot of people have grown to appreciate so many different aspects of of the word community and what it really means. And, we really showed that to each other. And I think that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, now, I've been following your Facebook page as far as getting things together to help other people. So, like, what things are like that you know of that you're helping people out?
So, there has been a gathering of supplies such as water and, what they really started to come about was the supply list. So at first it was just water and just things that you would think you needed in an emergency. And then it started to transition just to like real life. Like people are actually losing their entire home. And, I watched all of the boats getting launched and people trying to set up areas and get them in, get people in touch with officials to kind of direct them where to go to save people. And that was pretty powerful to watch all online. And I say that because, you really did see it real time when you were on social media, and you really saw the community activate and citizens really, really activate, as well as our first responders and everybody involved. And so that's been pretty great. But, right now, I see supplies as in supplies to clean out people's homes. Almost everybody that I've actually went and helped has lost their everything that they have. So a lot of these people are completely starting over, which I don't care if you make if you have a lot of money or a little bit of money, you're back to, everybody's affected no matter what. And so that's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, it kind of leads into my next question was, given that you're on the ground there, I guess I want to ask what specifically as far as what is needed, as far as I guess the people want to donate and like what is really needed down there.
It's different for different people, but I really feel that it needs to be, people need to come and actually, see this for themselves. It's really hard, and it's good to come in teams of 8 to 10, just so that you can go and actually see some and help people get through what they've lost and pull up their house, their carpet, and different stuff like that they need. I don't see as much mosquito repellent and things like that have not been donated in as much bulk as other things. And so I think that would be pretty powerful. I think that people need to realize for the next 8 weeks, we're going to be in recovery mode. You don't have to quote me on the time, but we really need people and teams deciding to come down weeks from now. So if you can get in touch with someone that that's actually has a plan for what they're doing and homes that and people that they're gonna help in the next 8 weeks, decide to commit yourself to 2 of those weeks and coming down for at least a day and a half. And I think that you will really see how powerful and how we can actually get Houston through all of this in Southeast Texas.
Yeah, that's actually good to know, because given with the media cycle and how it goes, and when something like this happens, the media attention tends to be great for a week or two, but as you were saying, you might be going on for 8 to 10 weeks, and people tend to tail off as far as thinking about going or donating and whatnot, because they've kind of moved on to the next story. So that's kind of something good to hear for people to know, to just continue on, and maybe if you're thinking of doing anything, maybe you might want to wait a couple of weeks so you can be in that group of people coming in when you still are needing the help. So now one thing, I guess, to kind of go to another topic, and I noticed that there is something called Right to Speak, and yes. I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that.
So that's really exciting. I feel pretty blessed to be able to be around such amazing, empowering women, and this group of women that has been the founders and the co-founders of it. They're incredible, and they really are giving all women a platform to have a conversation that doesn't have to revolve around set things that a feminist thinks they have to do, or they have to say, or they have to be. And it actually opens up. That's why one of the My Voice Matters, and another one, hashtag Elevate the Debate, you're really opening up your ability to have a conversation and inspire and empower other women through example, through different media outlets, through just this actual campaign that is really moving forward this idea of having a real debate on differences without any fear, without any threats. That my go-to is, we seek to engage, educate, and elevate the debate as to a level that has never been attempted. Everybody keeps pushing from what they call the left, the far left, and we are from women that are conservative. Some are millennials. It ranges all across the different generations, and we're here to say that we actually that they don't speak for us, and we actually want people to understand that we have more depth, and we really want to talk about issues. We want to talk about issues that are important for the country, for women, and move forward.
Yeah, and so as far as I guess you were saying that it's kind of just really getting started. So what are your goals as far as the whole movement, and what you're looking to accomplish?
I think that with the launch it was basically not my protest launch to the day this past year where women were encouraged not to spend money in the economy, not to go to work, so forth, and that just isn't responsible. And so that really was a launching point for this mission, and from there, it really hopes to have a goal to really, like it says, engage, educate, and elevate the debate. So basically having a space where, you find common ground and you can have voices from all over the nation basically talk to each other on and speak on matters that are concerning, and kind of getting solution oriented in that rhetoric. So
okay. Now, I guess one other thing that was kind of piqued my interest is that I saw that you spent a little time with ABC Sports, which I actually just want to ask a little bit about that. How is that as far as I saw they saying you was a personal assistant to the head of production. So, how was that?
It was an incredible experience. I was fortunate to be in my senior year of college, and College Gameday had come, and they just fell in love with me and another one of my really, really close friends in college, and they gave us both the opportunity to, fly with them to a new location for, football games every week. So we would leave on Tuesday and we'd come back on Saturday. Well, I ended up taking the position, and it was incredible. It was a huge learning experience. I took every single part of that and kind of, as much as I could, experienced and lived that. And it was unbelievable. It was, I call it my glory days, and I'm super fortunate for it, and I learned so much that I still use today. So
you was out there with they had the crowd out there with Lee Corso and all of them. So you was out there in that crowd of people, or what?
Yeah. So I really so Brett Musburger and Bob Davey, and they were the ABC crew. So but yes, they were the actual game crew. But yes, Kirk Street was there every week as well. They would pick the most popular game, I guess that was going to get the highest ratings, and they would send us there. And so we would I would follow them. And so I was there from the start of production, where you're laying cables, you're setting up the Skycam, you are doing everything from start to finish, and to see all the different parts of what goes into, just one football game production is pretty impressive. It's not an easy feat, and so it was pretty incredible to see all that and to learn the different aspects of it. One of my favorite moments is I was the first Aggie, well, I guess the second Aggie, because one of my girlfriends came one Thanksgiving as a runner with us, but we were the first Aggies to hold the Heisman Trophy, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Now, I could probably ask you a million questions about this, but one, I guess, a question is, I guess go through like a day, so from the beginning to the end, kind of how all that works.
You would just get up super early, and whenever people were getting there, people would get in at different days before they would before Saturday. So cameramen would usually get there pretty early and so forth. And so there were three guys that were kind of the top. There's the production side and then the talent side. The talent side kind of dealt with the announcers and everything and the people, any celebrities that would show up and so forth. And then the production side is basically the logistics and actually setting up and running everything. So you'd wake up, be out of your hotel and to the stadium by 7:30, and then you would just kind of go through your day. Game day was actually pretty fun because during the actual game, I was always kind of let to go do my own thing. So I was pretty fortunate to be able to be on the field and so forth during that. But you would just basically, I would do, sometimes I would go get snacks just to set all that up. I would have to do per diem sheets, which people would turn in, what they spent and things like that. And I would just, do some paperwork and basically make sure everything was flowing, how it was supposed to be flowing. So I was kind of just the support on that, but it was just really incredible to be able to be a part of such a team and really a family. And, people don't get to see that side of things very often, so it was pretty neat to be able to do that for a whole semester.
Okay. How can everyone get in touch with you on social media and with Right to Speak, and if they want to get involved with the movement?
I really appreciate you so much, and, thank you for letting us have a voice. And if you could go to @Right to Speak, and the 2 is the actual number 2, so RIGHT2SPEAK. And then my name's Jennifer Knesek. You can find me on Facebook or Twitter, JENNIFER, last name KNESEK. But Right to Speak, #My Voice Matters. It's a great movement, and we hope to see you there.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and also thank you for what you're doing down there as far as helping out down in the southeast region of Texas, and just hopefully everyone else just continue to keep everyone in their prayers. So thank you so much for your time.
Yes, we need them. Thank you.
Hello, TrendChat fans. The Founding Project invites you to experience our latest resource to take civics to citizens, TFP's new website. Visit us at www.thefoundingproject.com. Be a part of the civics movement with The Founding Project. The Founding Project is a 501c3 education nonprofit. Join us today.
Yep, and thanks to Jennifer for joining us. And also that word from the Founding Project. So that is probably it for this week. Probably. Like I say, I don't know. Who knows? I might have a rant boiling in my head about something that I've really got to get off my chest this week. But I think that's probably is it. I'm thinking about maybe doing some on Periscope or something, but I don't know. I'll let everyone know on all the social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TrendChat 24/7, Google Play, iTunes, iHeartRadio. So that being said, until next time, we'll chat with you later.